Welcome back to Special Friends Podcast. My name is Mary Santora.
And I'm Sarah Huntington.
And we've got some things to cover this week.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
What a long week.
Take it away. I mean, I didn't do anything. I got back from, I haven't done anything since I got back from Alaska, except I just had like shows every night, which is good, but not like exhausting.
I feel like we didn't talk at all.
We didn't because the day I got back, what was it? On Monday, you weren't here until Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we recorded the podcast and then you left. You've been gone.
Yeah.
And where were you?
I was at Coachella.
Oh my God.
I got to go to Coachella.
Have you always wanted to go to Coachella? You seem like you do.
Oddly enough, no. I actually am not really a music festival person. I went to EDC in 2021.
Which is?
Electric Dance. I don't know. It's a like EDM festival. And it was so much for me. Yeah. It was overwhelming. We went in Orlando, and when we went, I was like, well, at least we'll be in Orlando. At least we'll be by the beach.
Orlando, the landlocked city with 1,000% humidity every day.
I had never been to Orlando before.
At least we'll be by the beach.
So I had never been to Orlando.
How old are you?
26.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
And so we went there, and I was like, well, at least we'll be by the beach. I went to EDC for 2 days, and then on the last day I was like, I can't do this anymore. So we just like sat by the pool. I thought we were going to sit by the beach, but ended up sitting by the pool. So honestly, music festivals have never really been my thing. Okay. Honestly, when my agent reached out to me, he said, do you have any interest in going to Coachella? I said, no. And he said, well, what if it was all paid for? You can bring a friend. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And then he told me how much I would get paid. And I was like, I will give my left hand to go to Coachella. There's nothing I've ever wanted more in my entire life. Please let me go to Coachella. So I was
talking to my manager about that, and I was like, why have you not gotten me this much money? Why have you not gotten me this much? And he goes, you don't want to go to Coachella. I said, I'm not for this situation. I'm not talking about send me to Coachella. I'm talking about this amount of money. And then he goes, kept going back to Coachella. He just goes, at Coachella, they're more concerned about you having your tits out. I was like, I have pulled them out for a shot of Jack Daniels. If you can give me this paycheck, that you have no idea how far above and beyond that would be.
You're like, you don't know how much I would pull my tits out for that much.
I have had them. Yeah, they've been out for so much less. They've been out for a man who sang Usher to me at karaoke. All right? Do you understand? Who sang
to the whole bar.
To everybody.
That's funny because when I was in Florida, I had to record this video. And it's just like a UGC video. And
user-generated content.
Yeah, user-generated content. So it doesn't go on my page or anything. But I told my mom, I was like, you need to record me doing a backflip. And she was like, you're going to hurt yourself, Sarah.
Can you do a backflip?
I have video proof of...
On the ground?
Yeah, I did it like 6 times. And I had to do it again.
A back handspring?
Back handspring.
Okay.
Yeah, back handspring.
I was like, you can't do a backflip.
I used to be able to do back tuck, but...
No, I could still do a back handspring, but it would hurt. It would hurt.
I had to do it 6 times, and my wrists are still...
That's what does it every time, because, okay, my stepkid is 9. She's in gymnastics. My niece is 13. She's in gymnastics. And both of them, obviously, are learning how to do handsprings and stuff like that. And so I can do it.
And you feel like you have to show that. Yes. You're like, no. I used to be a gymnast.
I can do it too, you know? And but it's always my wrist. Mm-hmm. It's like as soon as your wrists hit the ground, it's like a shot of lightning goes from your wrist all the way up to your shoulder. And you're like, oh, I am too heavy and I'm just not in this shape anymore.
Yeah, I was like, well, I feel like I still have the strength, but my joints.
Your joints, they're not the same.
My joints
it's impact, dude. Your body doesn't work like that anymore.
My shoulders were like, I got it, and my wrists were like, no, the fuck you don't.
Right.
No, you don't.
Last time your wrists were holding all of your body weight up, upside down. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, like, with momentum as well, because I did a handstand first, and I was like, all right, well, I got a handstand, so I'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I told my mom how much they were paying me for just this one video of me doing a backflip, and my mom's like, fuck, I'll do a backflip.
Yeah, right.
I was like, for that, give me the camera.
Is that the video you're going to show me?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so... You get invited. They tell you how much it's going to be. And so you're all excited to go.
So I'm at an activation house with 29 rooms.
Okay. That sounds like FBI shit. I'm at the Hello. Yes, Eagle has landed. I'm at the activation house. Like, doesn't that sound like some secret spyware?
Eagle has landed.
The activation? What are they activating?
It takes off. It just up into the air.
goes.
Eventually, it turns into a plane. And then we're actually just floating above Coachella.
Yeah. Is it just activating all of the sexual assault cases that are going to happen in that house over the course of the week?
You know what? I don't know why they call it that. It was an all-female. It didn't have to be all-female. There were the gays there, but just the vibe that it has was very, like, female. It was for the girls and the gays, primarily. And so it's actually
activating feminism.
That was a lot of it, to be honest. It was like a lot of like
3, 2, 1.
Girlhood
activated.
I feel like this is just going to be you making fun of the
Dude,
whole
I don't
thing.
even have a story prepared for this week because I was like, I'm going to just, everything you say, I'm just going to cut in with some more shit until you hate your experience at Coachella. No, I am very excited.
Well, you just wait, Mary. There's going to be something you're jealous of.
I'm sure Activation House is not it. I can tell, unless I'm sure it was like beautiful and perfect and had a pool and
it did.
Yeah.
But my friend Ashley, I got to invite a friend, and my friend Ashley, she's been my best friend for like 6 years. She lives out in LA, and so I just randomly text her. Day of, I was like, hey, they need to know in 5 hours. Do you want to go to Coachella with me?
Oh,
this
yeah.
was a week before I went. Because I didn't even know until like 9 days before. And she goes,
I was in Alaska when you texted me and you were just like, hey, by the way. I'm like, what?
by the way, I'm flying 7 hours across the country in 4 days. So I won't see you when you get back.
Have fun.
But I was kind of nervous. I thought that I wasn't going to get it. And then they kept saying like, no, the contract's coming. And I was like, well, I'm not going to buy this flight until I've signed a contract.
Yeah.
And my agent was like, no, you could just go ahead and buy the flight. And I was like, I just don't feel comfortable doing that, which I could have, but also whatever. I didn't have to pay for the flight anyway.
Yeah.
So I got to invite my friend, and she came to the activation house with me, and she was like, so what is this? And I was like, I think it's where influencers come and photographers take pictures of them. And then while the photographer is taking a picture of them, their friends record them on a video of the photographer taking pictures of them. That way they can post that on their Instagram so they can tag the photographer of your friend filming a video of you getting pictures by the photographer.
So it's all like a setup for, it's a fake behind the scenes.
Kind of, yes. My friend Ashley was like, so it's kind of like a pool party, but no one's having fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to put it.
But, I mean, it was fun, but, like, I understand from her point of view, it was just kind of like...
Well, you're also there to work.
Yes.
You're working.
Yeah.
I'm being paid to be here.
Yes.
So these are the things I have to do.
Right.
I have to do these BTS, the forward face. Like, that's part of what you're getting paid for.
And
so
most of the people there, it's like... maybe they're not getting paid exactly to be there, but they got to go there for free and got a bunch of free stuff.
Yes. So you at least have to post about it.
So you have to say that you were there. So yeah, it was first response pregnancy test, which is who I was working for, and then ESOs. It's like the lip balm and lotions, and then there was a tattoo place
In the house?
Yes. Well, like 2 girls were tattooing. I got a tattoo.
I know you did. I want to see it. Are you going to show me?
I got an alien on my butt.
Oh, it's so small. It's this big.
So they were doing,
so tiny.
They were doing free little baby tattoos.
Is this the new skin still on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's cute. It's this little tiny baby
It's
alien.
so tight. It was so fun because my friend and I had been saying for like years that we're gonna get a tattoo together, and like every time we go, we're like, oh, I don't know, like this one, should we do this? And we could never decide on what to get. And then both of us go up to that and we just point right at this little alien. And I was like, that's it. We're getting a free tattoo.
Did you get it on her butt too?
Yeah, we got it on the
Nice.
same spot.
That's what's being activated. You
Yes.
guys are getting sucked up into the Space Force.
Oh, I thought you meant my butt.
No, I meant the alien.
My butt's getting activated.
Was your butt ew, dude, that sounds like someone who's bad at sexting. I'm gonna activate this ass.
Oh, where they're really formal?
Yeah.
Yes.
My Kegels are being activated.
What's the formal term for head? Fellatio.
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 Fellatio activated.
I'd like to activate some fellatio on you.
God. Gross, dude. Okay.
So
So, you get so tattoos, first response, EOS.
a tarot card reader. Yeah.
We love that.
And then like this, I didn't get to go in it, but it was like an astrology room. So like everything in there was just the stars and like the lunar, the whole thing was like the lunar eclipse. That was the whole vibe of it. That's why first response pregnancy test was there, because it was about like your lunar cycle. Okay, so first story I want to tell is, so we had the bathrooms were all decorated by first response. So it had pregnancy test everywhere. Like that was the thing. It was like tampons, pregnancy test. It was all pink, just vaginas everywhere, and then fun facts about your vagina.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Did
What
you
was
know?
one of the fun facts?
Like, did you know that you can get pregnant from pre-cum? You knew that.
I didn't. I don't think I knew that.
Are you serious?
I don't think I. Maybe I did.
Did you just find out you can get pregnant from pre-cum?
I don't know. I've been on birth control since I was 16.
Do you want to hear the craziest one?
I do.
True or false?
Okay.
Your period syncs up when you're around women for a extended amount of time.
True.
False.
No.
There's no scientific evidence that is true.
Okay, but explain it though. Explain why our periods happen at the exact same time, and they never did that before we knew each other.
Well, I think that there is probably some truth to it. There's no scientific evidence, probably because nobody's studied it.
No.
Because why would they? Because it's women's health, and we don't study women's health. But that was the most shocking answer, because I was giving the test to men, and I was like expecting them to get them all wrong, and then I would get them right, and that one came up, and he was like, true, and I was like, yep. And then I looked, and it was like, false. There's no scientific evidence that girls' periods sync up.
Okay, there's no scientific evidence for a lot of things.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like God. Number one.
It always links back to God. First and foremost.
Number one. Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
God. Jesus.
His son.
His son.
Mm-hmm.
What's something else where it's like, we know it's true, but there's no scientific evidence that it is? We'll think of some.
Oh, man. Probably that I'm the funniest comic who's ever lived. Don't do that.
She's just waiting on her. She's just waiting on her moment.
But just everybody knows it. That's what I would probably say after God and Jesus. Mary
Santora is the funniest comic in the entire world.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Of course.
Undisputed.
Right. Okay. So that's the bathrooms, and there's pregnancy tests everywhere.
Also, walking into a room full of pregnancy tests as a woman feels like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Does that feel like panic? I feel like I would not be comfortable. I'd walk in and be like, do I have to take all these? Or like you have flashbacks to when you had to take them, and I've never had a pregnancy, and I guess that tells a lot about who you are. I've never had a pregnancy test and it been a good experience.
Right.
Like it's good when it's negative, but there's so much anxiety around pregnancy tests.
Right.
There's never like I guess if you're planning a family, there's a hopefulness, but there's still pregnancy test equals anxiety.
Yes. And
no matter what you want the answer to be.
I was talking about that. Like, yeah, exactly. Even if it's like a good thing, you're still nervous.
Yeah.
And it's something that like, I hate to be a feminist, but it's something only women get to experience. Like even.
Well, to a certain degree. Because if your husband and you are trying to have a kid together,
yeah,
he's probably also anxious and waiting for the results.
That's true.
And if a man you had a one-night stand with, well, he probably wouldn't know, but he's probably also very anxiously awaiting for the results to be negative.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's true.
It's different because they don't have to grow the kid, but I would say...
Yeah, especially, like, if I think if you're the problem, like, if the guy's sperm is the problem, it's probably even more nerve-wracking for them. Yeah. Because sometimes it's not the woman's fault that she can't get pregnant. Sometimes it's the guy's fault. But either way, it's always nerve-wracking to take a pregnancy test. So yeah, it was really just an anxiety room.
It's never like a fun, like chill experience.
No.
Oh my God, let's like take a pregnancy test.
Unless you're on like child 9 and then you're like,
even then you're like, come on, man.
You know what I was thinking about? Before pregnancy test, when do you think women found out that they were pregnant?
Just when they a couple periods in a row.
Yeah.
And then you start getting sick. You listen to your body more.
Yeah.
So you missed a period. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's this. You missed a second period.
I wonder when pregnancy tests were invented.
But pregnancy tests at the doctor. I mean, dude, pregnancy tests have been around forever. You got your phone right here. Look it up. I feel like, I mean, at least, when did they come out? I'm going to say the 60s.
That's still pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. But before that, it was just you were only expected to have a kid. And it was probably just like...
Yeah. There's no way that that's true.
1350 BCE. That wasn't one of your vagina facts in the bathroom?
The test involved urinating on wheat and barley seeds. If the seeds sprouted, that indicated pregnancy.
Because it had human growth hormone in it?
I don't know.
In the 1960s, home pregnancy test. Yeah, that's what I said about the 60s.
Yeah, before
more
that.
accurate and convenient in the 70s. Yeah.
So it really has not been that long.
No, in the 50s, it was like... Yeah,
like when
your whole job is to have kids, so you would know what your body would feel like when it's about to have a kid, or when it's preparing for that.
Like when my grandma was born, our grandparents were born. There was no way to test if they
not to test, no, but you would. I mean, there's things that happen. You know, you skip your period, that's your first indicator. Then you start getting sick in the morning. You start showing, crazy cravings.
Gosh,
yeah, it sucks. So anxiety around pregnancy tests.
Okay, so 2 things happened that I thought were really cool. Well, interesting. One girl, I was like, oh, do you mind if I ask you some questions about pregnancy? And she was like, or about pregnancy tests. And she was like, yeah, so that's what it was. I was doing man on the street interviews for all the girls there. And it was just like, oh, where's the weirdest place you've taken a pregnancy test? Where did you take your first pregnancy test? And then just...
Also in my butt.
Yeah.
Did you not hear me the first time?
What?
You said, where's the weirdest place you've taken a pregnancy test? I said, in my butt. You didn't hear that? And
no.
You said, okay. Man, I'm killing it over here. You're not even fucking listening.
Well, I'm trying to talk about my pregnancy test here. And you've talked about butt stuff twice on this podcast now.
Yeah, back to back.
Well, and then my activation tattoo.
That was you. I didn't bring that up.
Oh, you're right. That was me.
Put this on me.
All
anyway, where's the weirdest place you've taken one? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. So this one girl, I'm like, where's the weirdest place you've taken a pregnancy test? And she was like, probably a couple weeks ago when I found out that I was pregnant. And her friend just looks at her and she goes, what? And she goes, yeah, I was going to tell you on the trip. I just hadn't found the time to yet. I'm pregnant. And her friend was like, what? She had no idea.
What are you doing in a desert?
Right.
Why are you at Coachella if you're pregnant?
They probably had already bought the ticket.
That's a crazy place to go with child.
There was also one girl 7 months pregnant.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
That's so unsafe, dude.
Pregnant women, I feel are the strongest people. And I think it's cool, though, when they don't let the pregnancy stop them from doing everything that they would have done anyway.
Sure, do the things you want to do, but be safe about it. You also have to, if you get dehydrated or heat stroke, that's going to directly affect your baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she told her friend.
So she told her friend.
During the interview.
By the way, I'm pregnant.
Oh, my God. I hope they keep that one.
Oh,
not the baby. I meant that clip. I hope they use that clip and keep the baby. I don't know.
I hope she does.
If
At this point, it's on camera. So, no, I asked her. I was like, is it okay if we post that? And she's like, yeah, can you just let me know when you're going to post it? Because I haven't told anybody besides her.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she's the first person.
I was the first person she told that she was pregnant.
That's awesome.
She looked right at me and was like, I'm pregnant. I was like,
that's great.
Okay.
But where was the place she took it? That was weird.
Oh, she didn't. I don't know. I don't even remember.
Or was it when was the last time you took a pregnancy test or something like that?
I think, yeah. I said, because the first question I ask is, have you ever taken a pregnancy test?
Yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, last week. That's when I found out that I was pregnant.
Oh,
and then my leading question is, where was the first place? Where was the weirdest place?
Yeah.
So I didn't even get to that part. I was just like,
no.
And they turned the camera around on her friend. It was really cool.
Congratulations. That's hilarious.
Second thing that happened that was really crazy is, so we had all these pregnancy tests in there. We didn't know people were going to take them, which obviously
with them or use them.
Well, we didn't know either. We didn't know that they were going to take them or use them there, but people were taking them with them. We're just like, fine, yeah, take them. Well, one girl, she takes it there. We're like, okay, why?
Positive.
Well, she comes out of the bathroom. She's joking around with her friend. She's like, I peed it, because they have these new pregnancy tests now where you pee right into the cup and then it tells you right there on the cup without dipping a stick in.
That's kind of cool.
Positive or negative. So I don't know if she didn't know that it was a cup like that. and she thought she had to like dip something in there or whatever. So she just used the cup and she's like, I peed in a cup, and then was showing her friends. They were all taking videos of it. Ha, funny, funny, funny. Then she just leaves it on the sink.
A cup of your pee.
A cup of her pee, she left it on the sink. We were like, dude, come on. But we go in there, we go to just throw it away, and she goes, hold on, I forget who it was, one of the girls that was helping us clean it up. She goes, hold on, that's positive.
Did you tell the girl?
We couldn't find her. She had already left.
She did so many drugs, she's gonna lose that baby.
She had already left, and we're trying to find her. I'm like, didn't you take a picture of her to the photographer? He's like, no, because she had a cup of pee in her hands. I didn't want to take a picture of her. I thought it was weird. So now there's some girl roaming around Coachella.
Pregnant.
And I don't think she knows.
No. She doesn't know.
Isn't that crazy? So if you're watching this, which unlikely.
Maybe.
And you took a pregnancy test at the 29 rooms activation house. You're and pregnant. Showed all your friends and then left the pee on the counter.
Congratulations.
It's a baby. Ta-da. You're pregnant.
Dude, that's crazy.
You're having a baby.
Maybe she did know and didn't want to tell her friends, which is why she peed in the cup instead of using the test.
I don't know.
That sucks. She's going to lose that kid.
But she left pretty
Did she look like she was drunk or on
drugs?
Or
she looked like she was having a really fun time. Where, like, for me, I would have had to have been drunk to be having that fun of a time. But sometimes people just have very,
Sometimes they just have fun sober.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some people are just really naturally fun. So, I don't know. It felt like, to me, she was partying, but maybe she's just, I don't want to trash somebody that maybe knew that she was pregnant. But in my mind, the way I would like this story to go is that she took that pregnancy test. She had no idea. Mm-hmm. She left it on the counter. And one, either saw it, didn't want her friends to know, and was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Or two, just left it there, didn't think anything of it. And now she
thinks she's hungover, but it's morning sickness.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
At Coachella. She's like, oh, I got the desert heat sickness.
Was she with, I guess it's all women. She wasn't with any guys.
No, it was just a bunch of girls that she.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Was she young?
She was probably in her, like, mid-20s.
So this probably would have been this could be her first kid.
Oh, I'm sure.
Could you imagine finding out you're pregnant at a music festival in your early 20s?
Just like on a whim,
You're
too.
23.
Yeah.
You're rolling on Molly. You're having a time. You go into the activation house. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so whimsical. I'm going to pee in this cup. And then you find out
your whole weekend is
your
ruined.
Whole life. Not your whole weekend, dude. Your whole life.
I mean, definitely your whole weekend. I don't know about your whole life.
Did they have an abortion part of the activation house?
No.
A deactivation part? Where you deactivate the life? Did they have that part?
And then you can get a tattoo right after that.
That would make sense. You find out if you're pregnant, and then you go down the hall because we're pro-choice in the desert.
Yeah.
Because she would need to visit the deactivation part. Yeah, I think
it's there was an abortion clinic in the back. It wasn't like regulated or anything.
No.
But there was a medic back there.
Oh, well.
I do like that they did have to have a medic on staff, and they just kept him like in the back with all like the chairs and extra product and stuff. He was just sitting on a chair the whole time, like
just in case anybody passes out.
Yeah. Dang. But he never had to come up. One time I saw him and I was like, oh, what's he doing up here? And he just had to use the bathroom.
Yeah. What is he doing in our presence?
But he did. Everyone had to use the pregnancy test bathroom. That was the only bathrooms.
Oh, in a 29-room house?
There were not 29 rooms. It was just Refinery 29.
Oh.
Sponsored it. So it was called 29 rooms. Honestly, don't know why they called it 29 rooms.
No,
there weren't 29 rooms. There was maybe 8.
You slept there?
No. I had a hotel. Nobody slept there. I was confused on that. I thought people were staying there. Mm-hmm. Nobody stayed there. It was just a house.
It's a prop house.
It's a prop house.
Okay. That's where you go and you do your recordings and okay.
That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of like a sitcom house.
Yeah.
Where they record, and it was just like, and this is the living room. Right. And then the bedroom is above it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Decent hotel?
I booked it all myself. So,
yeah.
and
then they just reimburse you? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, so
okay,
I booked
cool.
my flight, my hotel. There honestly weren't a lot of hotels left. Oh, yeah, that part. So I booked it through Airbnb because there were like no hotels. They were all sold out. So I found one on Airbnb, and it was like decently priced or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'll get. So, on Airbnb, like you're normally staying in someone's home. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think. So I have the Uber driver drop me off at the address. It looks like a bunch of condos. He drops me off at the address. And then I'm looking through the messages and I was like, he never sent me the code or
check-in instructions.
Nothing. So I message him. I said, hey, you never sent me check-in instructions. Can I get those? I wait like 10 minutes, nothing. So then I'm just standing in the desert in like 100-degree heat with my New York clothes still on, like a jacket, pants, suitcase, nothing. So then I find a number, call it, disconnected. There's no number. And I was like, I got fucking scammed.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, I got scammed. I am going to have to sleep in the desert.
Coachella weekend. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So then I'm just sitting on this like bench. I'm like trying to get a hold of Airbnb. I call Airbnb. They're like, you'll have to wait an hour. If we don't hear from them in an hour, then we'll just refund you your money. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's great, but like, I still don't have a place to stay. Right. Thank you for the refund, but I don't have anywhere to.
Where am I supposed to go?
This is I'm at Coachella where everything is fucking sold out. There's nowhere for me to go. I don't need a refund. I need a fucking hotel. Yeah. And she's like, well, let's just calm down and let's wait an hour. So then after she tells me that, I see this girl walking by and I was like, do you live here? And she was crying? Like almost. Yeah, like I'm like my heart is pounding because I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then I start to overthink everything. I'm like, what if this is all fake? What if my agent doesn't know what he's talking about? What if they sent me out here and none of this is real and I'm stuck in the desert and I don't even have the tickets or anything. Oh yeah, you don't have anything yet. I have nothing. So I'm like, I'm just stuck here after a 7-hour flight. That's of course my brain goes into worst case scenario mode. So I see this girl and I'm like, do you live here? And she was like, no, this is a resort. So I booked it through Airbnb, but it was a vacation resort. Oh. And I was in the villas part.
You got dropped off at the wrong part.
I got dropped off at the actual villa that I was staying in. Uh-huh. But then I was like, well, how do I check in? And she goes, oh, there's like a check-in at the hotel.
So when you get to the front desk, they had all your information.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, you have to go up to the hotel to check in. So I had to, take a little shuttle up to the hotel. Everything was fine after that. But I did think that
you had a panic attack.
Yeah. I was, yes. I had a mental breakdown thinking that I just booked myself into Coachella with nowhere to stay. And I actually didn't have a job there.
Yeah. Well, you're safe. Villa was cute?
Villa was cute. Okay. It was a little 1-bedroom villa. Overlooked like the golf course and palm trees. It was warm. It was sunny. It was beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Nice pool. I didn't really get to enjoy the hotel because I worked from 12 to 5. Mm-hmm.
And then you went and watched
and then I went to actual Coachella at night. So really, I mean, like for how nice of a hotel it was, I didn't get to stay there. They did have a lot of activities. Huh. There was like slime making and candle making and
like a family thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say we look for stuff like that when we go on vacation with Blake, Brian's daughter. Like stuff that is built in because keeping kids entertained on vacation is a nightmare.
Well, if you ever want to have you been to Palm Springs? Mm-mm. Palm Springs is gorgeous.
Okay.
Like, I've been
to... It's really expensive, isn't it? Isn't that like a fancy part of California?
Yeah. Well, yes. The majority of Palm Springs is really expensive. I guess there's also a place, my Uber driver, who is a freaking weirdo, he told me that some of the parts aren't as good. It's where all the hot springs are. It's actually not a very nice neighborhood. Wow. But the rest of it is really just the whole airport is outside. I know you said ew, but it's like gorgeous. People are just like sitting out on the lawn. Yeah. And there's palm trees that you can sit under and there's like big tables and stuff. At the airport. At the airport.
Well, that's like how it is in Hawaii. Yeah. Like the open air airports. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a Hawaiian airport. It's gorgeous. The whole city is just beautiful. It's got mountains and the sunset's perfect.
Just move there then.
How
much you like it, then fucking move there.
I probably said it 4 times.
Just find a new friend.
I have to move.
Find someone else to do this podcast with that you don't care about.
It is when you go somewhere like that I was like, damn, New York is not that pretty.
Not that pretty?
New York is, from 20 stories up, New York is gorgeous.
Sure.
But walking around New York, it's hideous.
It's terrible.
It's ugly as fuck here.
It stinks. I told Brian today, I had a mental breakdown while you were gone about my weight, okay? And I don't know if you saw that on my Instagram story.
I did.
But I told Brian today, like I walked for an hour yesterday, just around, because it was like 65 and sunny. Mm-hmm. So I just walked around Astoria for like an hour. And then today I was going to go on another walk, but it was so windy. And Brian's like, well, why aren't you, did a workout at home. And I was like, because in New York, it's so dirty here that when it's really, really windy, I feel like I get dirt in my eyes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like, it feels like the wind blows debris into my face and eyes, and it hurts my skin.
I think I've gotten sick from the wind
I'm
here.
telling you.
I've one time a gust of wind hit me so hard in New York, and then I got that flu.
Yeah,
that
and
knocked me out for 2 weeks. And I swear it was that gust. I felt it. It was like,
it goes into your mouth,
like,
dude. It blows all this trash and homeless urine and every other thing that's on the ground and shattered hopes and dreams, and it sends it right up your nostrils, and it burns. And I'm like, I don't want to go walk when it's this windy outside.
No. There's 4 places in New York that's really pretty to walk around. Other than that, it's like, no, I'm not going for a walk around my neighborhood in Astoria.
I did that yesterday, and I did like it. It was like, it wasn't windy, it was 65 and sunny. It was like and it had been raining here the previous 3 days.
Yeah.
It rained for 3 straight days. And then it was like, finally the weather was nice.
I did one day I went up to Ditmars when it was really warm. You were gone. And it was like a random 75 and sunny day.
Yeah.
I just walked up and down Ditmars.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so the job went well. That was all fun. Performances, what's next?
Performances were great. So
Who'd you see?
I went on Friday by myself, just because I was like, I have the ticket, and I have nothing else to do. I'm at least gonna go see a concert.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of you when you were like, you remember the first concert you saw sober?
It's great.
And so I went there and I was like, one, I forgot my ID, so I couldn't drink it even if I wanted to. But I was like, I have stuff to do tomorrow. I'm not gonna drink or anything. But getting to see Lady Gaga
completely in the moment.
Yes.
Did it make you cry?
And Missy Elliott.
Oh, I love Missy Elliott.
I was just watching it and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I can't believe I'm seeing this. And I was like, you know what? I've never really appreciated a concert because I've always been so fucked up when I get to them.
I'm telling you, if there's something I highly recommend people doing sober, it is going and seeing live music, specifically a band you really care about. If there's a band that you love, even I've seen Zac Brown, I think 6 or 7 times. Same with John Mayer. Mm-hmm. And the first time I saw both of those guys sober, it was a moving experience. It really is.
Yeah. It was so cool to see that.
Fully present.
Fully present in the moment. I'm surrounded by people, and I was by myself, and it was kind of nice.
Have you never been to a concert by yourself?
No.
Oh, I do it all the time.
I don't do a lot of things alone.
Yeah.
This is really the first year I've worked on being alone at all.
You enjoyed being there by yourself?
I did.
It's cool, man.
These guys came up to me and they were trying to talk to me, and I was kind of just like,
no, I'm here having a Gaga moment.
Yeah. And they I'd kind of turn around and then they'd keep talking to me more, and then I talk to them for 30 seconds, and then I try and turn back around, and I was like, I know you guys want to talk, but
you're so polite. You're so polite, because I would do it once or twice, and then I'd be like, hey man, I'm really into the show. Yeah. I'd appreciate it if you leave me alone.
Well, I also
you're never going to see them again. What do you care?
Yeah, I know.
And they're ruining your experience. You know what I mean? Whatever.
I know. So I got to see Missy Elliott, Lady Gaga. I stayed for 4 songs of Lady Gaga, and then I just went home because I didn't want to wait. And the traffic is bad, and you do have to walk a mile to get into even with VIP.
Okay. There's a venue in Ohio outside of Cleveland. It's 45 minutes south. It's called Blossom, and it's in the middle of Cuyahoga Valley National Park.
Yeah.
So where the parking is to where the actual venue, the amphitheater is, it's over a mile depending on where you park. Yeah, I mean, you're walking for 20 minutes into the woods.
Yeah.
So I figured it was something similar.
And it doesn't matter if you have artist pass.
Nope.
It doesn't matter if you have VIP. GA walks a little bit further, but even with VIP, I walked pretty much a mile.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to see people that I had seen, influencers that I look up to on the internet, just trekking through that same dirt I was trekking through. And I was like, oh, none of us are special.
No.
Not
it's
one
hot.
of us is special. We're all hot. Ugh. We're all sweaty. We're all covered in dirt. And we're all just humans at that point. Like, nobody was on the internet in that moment. We were all just trekking through the mud.
Yeah.
I guess dirt. And it was kind of refreshing to see. I was like, oh,
You like
Look
seeing
at
you
you.
like seeing a hot chick covered in dirt.
yeah, okay,
You know what I
Hailey
mean?
Bieber trekking. Okay, not Hailey Bieber, but
I get what you're saying.
I did. I was walking right behind this influencer that I really like. His name's Bran Flakes.
It
And
means nothing to me.
I really do like him.
I was like,
He's
bran flakes help when you can't poop.
He's a cute little gay man, but his stuff is funny, but also very influencery, and it's just like it's interesting to see him. Like he's like, I have blisters, like, I'm like
Crying?
Yeah.
Complaining?
trying to get like an Uber and stuff.
Did you see any famous people?
Not really.
Not on stage. I mean, like out in public.
Not really, but I'm also really bad at that.
Oh.
Because they would tell me when I was at the activation house, they'd be like, go get her. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, she was on Bravo, or she was on the Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Not Desperate Housewives, whatever, the Housewives of Atlanta or something.
Yeah.
They would tell me, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know, which kind of made it nice because I didn't get nervous.
Yeah.
Because I truly had no idea who they
those
were.
bitches.
For me, it was just like, I still don't really remember any of them, to
Yeah.
be honest. But I know I did interview some important people to a certain demographic of people. They're really
Can you say their
important.
names or no?
I don't remember. I truly
Oh
don't.
my God, you're useless. What is the point of these
The
stories?
videos will come out, and we'll see them.
Eventually
and
we'll
see
figure it
who
out.
they are.
Okay, you said. Oh, go ahead. What else? Did you go to
so-
performances every night? Saturday
yeah.
night, Sunday night.
So Saturday night, we went to a couple. Saturday night was kind of just like, I got a migraine from the heat, and I was just tired. We went, and I was kind of like, I don't want to do this. So Saturday was kind of a wash. The event was fun. Sunday, I felt a lot better, and I have to show you. So Ashley, my friend Ashley and I, we have been friends for a lot of years. We've gone to a lot of concerts together, and I was like, oh, I want to go see Zed. And she was like, we've seen Zed before. And I was like, no, we haven't. She goes, we saw them in Vegas the night that we ended up at the strip club afterwards. And I was like, that could have been anybody on stage.
Yeah,
I was like, I was watching it, but I don't remember. I was not present
Yeah.
at all. I have no idea who was on stage
You're
that
like,
night.
you may have seen Zed. I've never seen Zed.
I've never seen Zed. So, I was
That
like,
was the first time I saw Lil Wayne. Well, the only time. I was like, I was not at that concert.
I was like,
I don't know who went, but it wasn't me.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there in Vegas. I was like, I really do want to see him just because there's like nostalgia to him.
Yeah.
So we go to see Zed, and he brings up two guest artists.
Uh-oh.
Becky Hill. Do you know who Becky Hill is?
No.
She's great. She has an amazing voice, and she's in a lot of the videos with him. And then he brings up one other guest, and I'm just going to show you who it was.
I can't see anything.
Hold on.
Ah, it's John Mayer! Did you freak out? I love him. Oh my God, I love him so much. Have you ever seen John Mayer live?
Yes.
What song is this? Is he singing his song? I've
This
never
is
heard
the
this song.
moment. Something like that.
How many songs did he do?
Like 3.
All alone. Pushing 40 in the friend zone. Oh my God, I would shit my pants.
So it was funny because
God, I love him so much.
on our ride there,
Oh, I love him so much.
I was like, Mary's gonna freak out.
I love him so much.
I almost sent it to you there, and then I was like, no, I want to see this prize on your face, and 2, I didn't want to rub it in.
I don't even think I know who Zed is.
Zed, he sings, just take a second, just face our time, the clock
Oh,
is ticking, so stay. All you have to do is say,
Yeah, okay. I know that.
in mind. He's
But
like,
him and John Mayer have never collabed.
no, that's why it was so odd. So Ashley was like, I've seen Zed. She's like, but I'll go so you can experience it for the first time, even though you've definitely seen him.
She like John Mayer?
So in the car right there, we were the Uber just happened to play John Mayer, and she was like, oh, I love this song. She's like, have you ever seen John Mayer live? And I was like, yeah, once, but it's been a long time. It was when I was in high school. I went with my high school sweetheart. I was like, it was beautiful. It was like one of the one of my favorite.
It's a good couples concert.
It's like one of my favorite memories that I have with him, and just overall at a concert. You know, I was too young to drink.
Yeah.
It was just loving and cute. And after that, concerts became just a shit show for me. So it was really the last like good memory I had at a concert. And I was telling her that. And so we go to Zed, and Becky Hill comes on, and she was like, oh my God. She's like, I take back everything I said about Coachella being stupid. Like, this is just like one person I would love to see. And then right after that, he's like, I got one more guest for you. John Mayer, everyone. And both of us just go,
yeah, dude, that's crazy. That's
we're just
so
screaming
exciting.
at each other, and we're like, what are the fucking chances?
Oh my God. So I got sober in 2019. All right. And then I don't think I went to a concert that whole year. Or if I did, I did. I went that summer. I saw Lee Bryce. I went to a country concert in the summertime. Lee Bryce opened it was like an all-day country festival, but the two headliners were Lee Bryce and Old Dominion.
Oh, yeah.
And Lee Bryce should have headlined.
Yeah.
He destroyed. They only gave him like 45 minutes, and that guy's a hit maker.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing, and you know who opened it was Walker Hayes before Fancy Like Applebee's on a date night, but it was before that. So he had a breakup song that I really liked that made me cry. But anyway, so it was Walker Hayes and Lee Bryce, and then not Brothers Osborne, Old Dominion. But that was like the first concert I remember being like, oh my, I'm completely sober, I'm drinking water, and I like cried. So then the pandemic happened, and then nobody went on tour 2020, 2021 really. And then I feel like in 2022, I started going and seeing a lot of live music, checking it off my list. And John Mayer did a solo tour.
Yeah.
He did that solo tour. I think it was either 2022 or 2023. And I went by myself. I drove to Detroit. I bought a $500 ticket.
Oh, shit.
I was third row, like pretty much dead center, like maybe slightly to the right.
Yeah.
And he comes out, and as soon as the lights went down, and then I hear the first chords of Slow Dancing in a Burning Room, and I just started crying. And I was like, I screamed. I go, he's starting with this! And I couldn't even handle myself.
You're like, this is where we're starting?
Yeah, because it was. I'm like, if this is, Sarah.
Yeah.
I have literal goosebumps just thinking about it. Look at that, dude. Because I was like, as a John Mayer fan, if this is where we're starting, what are these next 2 hours going to be? And it was incredible. I cried. I like made friends with the girl next to me, and like she had John Mayer tattoos though, not just like lyrics. Wow. On one arm it said John, on the other arm it said Mayer.
Holy shit! Was she there by herself too?
She's seen him like 57 times or something like that, and she had expensive tickets too. So I was like, dude, how much money have you spent on this man?
I mean, good for you, but people that are that loyal,
it's crazy. It's a little crazy.
And I wish that I have some fans like that, but also I've never liked anything that much.
That's a sickness.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're obsessed with one person that much, like genuine groupies.
Yeah.
That follow a person around, kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Like a little weird.
I saw him twice on that tour because I remember
twice is nothing.
That first time I saw him, sober, he's doing solo acoustic, so pretty much all of his slow songs, all of his breakup songs, anything he can play either on the piano or on the guitar, no band. So it was like all my favorite songs, and I was crying. So my favorite song by John Mayer is called Edge of Desire, and when he played it, I was crying so hard I couldn't sing. I was like, like I couldn't even get the words out.
No, music will do that to me really bad.
Me too, dude.
Music, or just even like American Idol, when it's somebody that's really good and you can just hear like the pain or the passion.
You get goosebumps?
I get goosebumps and I get a lump in my throat.
Yes.
Like, even have you been to a lot of Broadway shows?
Yeah, not a lot, but
when
I've probably been to 5 or 6.
And they start the show off with singing, I cry every time. It like takes my breath away. There's something about it where I'm just like, it's beautiful.
Every single time I hear live blues music, I cry. It's that same thing. Right when they first start playing the blues riff, and then the guy will come in with that real gravelly voice, it just takes me over.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what that is about music, where
it's not everybody though. Yeah. Not everybody has a reaction like that to music.
Huh? No, it just like it will jolt through me and make me cry.
So I saw John Mayer. That was like March. And then my friend and I went to Philly. This was 2023. My friend and I went to Philly and saw him again in October of that same year. And I didn't cry as hard. I did cry during Edge of Desire again, but it wasn't like sobbing or anything like that. And then that same year, 2023, I know, I got it together. 2023, I saw Fall Out Boy twice because I had never seen them at all. And then I went alone the first time again. That was another $400 ticket because I'm like, screw it, dude. I'm old enough. I make my own money. I'm completely sober. I've loved them for 20 years.
Yeah.
I am spending money to see one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite band.
Yeah.
And so, again, just an overwhelming, I'm screaming. I didn't have a voice for like 2 days after because I'm screaming every word at the top of my lungs.
The only one Paramore is the only one I've seen her or them 3 times. For me, it is just Hayley Williams. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I love her band. You guys all do great if you're listening to this, but for me, it is just about Hayley Williams. I love her with every being in my body.
Yeah.
So I've seen her 3 times. But, okay, one last thing before we get out of here. So after we see John Mayer, it's like, okay, everything's just going really well for us tonight. Like, Saturday, I was kind of like, I had a headache and everything.
Sunday was amazing.
Sunday was amazing. So then...
Did you get your tattoos on Sunday, too?
Yes.
So it was like a best friend's day.
Sunday was just like, okay, everything came together. Well, then... we kind of get lost. This place is huge, by the way. And I'm like, oh, like, how do we get back into VIP? Because we went out of VIP to go to Zed. And so there's like a white picket fence. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's it. So we walk to it, but it's the exit, not the entrance. And so I was like, I just go up to the guy and I was like, can we just come in? And I showed him my bracelet and he goes, you guys are pretty. Come on.
Nice.
And it was Artist Pass area. I look around and there's only like 50 people in there, which VIP, it was like thousands of people bought VIP tickets. It wasn't that much more expensive. I look around at Ashley and I'm like, there's only like 50 people in here.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah.
And so I look and we are literally right by the main stage.
That's incredible.
I'm like, we're in Artist Pass area.
Yeah.
That guy just led us into Artist Pass. So we got to watch, I don't even remember who it was now. Whoever was the last person to play at Coachella on Sunday.
Black, white, rap, Southern. You got nothing?
I know it wasn't Meg the Stallion. It's whoever was after Meg the Stallion. At that point, we had a few drinks.
Female, male.
Post Malone, duh.
Dude, I've seen Post Malone live. That's a fun show.
Yeah, it was Post Malone. So we're like right there for Post Malone. And we just like happened to fall into it.
Were the other, like John Mayer and everybody's hanging out over there?
No, which
T-Pain
I was so, well, and like,
or not T-Pain. Who was there? T-Pain was there.
T-Pain was there.
Yeah.
I'm sad that I missed T-Pain. He went on at 5 and I had to work till 5. That's one person I was sad I didn't get to see.
So it was like all the artists plus ones. Probably, or their team.
I really don't know, because I don't know who got Artist Pass, but I know you have to be like a decently special. But
was there like any perks? Did you get like free drinks or free food? Or
I mean, no, there was food vendors and drink vendors in there, but they're just like, were hardly any people in there,
and it's right by the stage.
That's so I was
awesome.
Like, you know, when life just feels really good,
dude.
Like, I was
when
just like,
it's just everything works out, and you're like, you know what? This is great.
And it was
Life
our last night.
Yeah.
We got to see that. And
John
then,
Mayer pops up. You get your best friend tattoo during the day. Like, that's an amazing day. You accidentally get into Artist Pass.
Up close in an Artist Pass area. So.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you.
As far as, like, an experience can go, especially being like, oh, I would never go to Coachella. It's an influencer event. It's stupid. It was amazing. Good. It really was. I had a really good time.
I'm so happy for you, dude. That's awesome.
I feel like I got my flowers a little bit on it. And it was really good.
You deserve it, man.
I deserve it. You're right, Mary.
Do you feel good? You should feel good.
Yeah.
That's really, I'm
exhausted.
Really happy.
I got in at 1 a.m. last night. Worked
all day. I know you got in
late
late as hell because I heard you. But I was like, I thought she said she was going to be back at 11. But
well, my flight got in at 11:45, but I had to fly into Newark. Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half from where we live.
Oh, my Uber driver was so pissed. He goes, "You're going to Astoria?"
Like, you didn't have to say yes.
And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I would not have picked you up if I would have known that. And I was like, well, I'm in the car.
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
So, and he just complained about it the whole time. And I was like,
brother, please leave me out of this. It's got nothing to do with me.
So yeah, if you get the chance to go to Coachella, it is actually really great.
If you get the chance to go to Coachella completely paid for,
yeah,
and stay in a nice villa and
Yeah.
get activated by the CIA,
I would not camp. That shit's crazy. No,
out of your mind. You're not catching me camping anywhere.
never. Under any circumstances will you see me camping.
I went to one festival and we camped for the weekend in the back of my ex's SUV, and I was still drinking at the time, so we were hammered. It was supposed to be so we could see Eric Church. It was a 3-day music festival.
3 days in an SUV.
3 days in an
That's
SUV.
homelessness.
Waking up, drinking as soon as you wake up. If you've ever been, I know all country all concerts are like this. I feel like people go particularly hard at country concerts. That it's like
when hillbillies.
It's
drinking.
all hillbillies.
Yeah.
So everybody's drinking and it's a disaster.
Really just alcohol at country concerts.
That's
It's
it.
not like a lot of like
Not maybe a little bit of
psychedelics,
weed.
maybe a little bit of weed,
that's
but no
it.
mushrooms, no
No,
Molly,
no coke.
Yeah, it's
It's all
hammered
booze.
people.
Yeah. So the whole point was to go see Eric Church, okay? Because neither of us had seen Eric Church, and Eric Church was on the last day. And right before, Morgan Wallen, actually, before he was somebody, was one of the openers. And so we're seeing all these great acts and whatever. We have the VIP right up against the stage. You got to get there early. We're watching all the opening acts. Right before Eric Church goes on, my ex goes to the bathroom. And then he's gone like 25 minutes. And so this is like in the set change. And then a security guard comes and pulls me. And I was like, what? And he's like, you're done. You got to go. And I was like, what? And I see they have my boyfriend and they're cutting his wristband off. And I was like, what the fuck happened? He got in a fucking fight with somebody at the bathroom. It was like, no, my girl's in there. Just let me go back. So then he gets me in trouble. So now we're being escorted off the premises.
You said, I don't know him.
I know. Excuse me. No, thank you.
No, I don't. Who?
We're being escorted
know that man.
off the premises as Eric Church comes on and starts playing. So like we're walking up the hill with the security escort. They make us pack all our shit up, and I am furious. I spent like $1,000 on these tickets. 3-day camping. It was fun up until that point, but the entire reason we went was to see Eric Church, and he got us thrown out minutes before Eric Church went on. You know, one of the first things I did when I was sober, I think this might have been the very first sober concert I ever went to. I think I said the one before that was Eric Church. It was like 2 months after I got sober. I went and saw him by myself in Cleveland.
Not gonna get kicked out now.
No, I was high. I did eat an edible by myself, but I had never been. That was the first sober concert. I had never been to a concert by myself or sober, and I bought it like 2 hours beforehand. I was on radio and I was telling this story, and they were like, buy a ticket right now.
Yeah.
Like, redeem yourself.
Yeah.
Go watch Eric Church, enjoy it, and, don't get kicked out right before for a grand.
Beautiful.
But
I only got kicked out of one concert, and we didn't even get to go into it. My very first high school boyfriend, not like my high school sweetheart, we were 16. He was 16, I was 15. We went to a Nickelback concert.
Nickelback is so good live.
Top 5. I wouldn't know.
Top 5 favorite concerts
Also,
I've ever
I hate
been
that
to.
people hate Nickelback. They're a good band.
They're so good.
They're good.
They're good. I am not exaggerating when I say top 5 favorite concerts I've ever been to.
I feel like it's a trend to dislike them. And I'm like, stop being trendy. They're a good band. If
they have
weren't
so
good,
many number one hits. It's insane.
They wouldn't have been so popular if they weren't good. But my boyfriend had braces, and we're drinking, and we're walking to the car to get cigarettes because I was really cool at 15 years old. And these like 2 guys stop us, and they're like, oh, you guys drinking? And we're like, yeah. And they were like, okay, go ahead and give us those, and give us your IDs. And so we didn't even get to go to the concert. They put us in a drunk tank. His mom had to drive me home.
It was loud. Nickelback's probably the loudest concert I've ever been to.
Oh, we could hear it.
In terms of fan reaction. It is I saw them at Blossom, which is like 20,000 people, and it's 20,000 of the loudest women I've ever heard in my entire life screaming.
Yeah.
Out there was standing in the honeycombs, I'll never get it. Like, it's like so loud. I was one of them. So loud.
It is kind of easy to sing along with Nickelback.
Dude, they have so many hits. So many hits. It's insane. But I'm glad you had an incredible weekend at Coachella. You got your flowers. You made a bunch of money. Got a tattoo. This sounds awesome. I'm very, very happy for you. That's amazing.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You can follow us at Special Friends Podcast on Instagram. You can email us, specialfriendsnyc@gmail.com. I'm at Mary Santora Comedy.
At Sarah Pop-Tarts.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Okay.